Welcome to my podcast, Romance Over Coffee, the podcast where we talk about romance books all over a cup of coffee. Today is a very special episode. It's going to be a little bit different because we're just going to do a little Q&A. So today I have my friend Emma Deshon with me. Emma, go ahead and introduce yourself. Talk about your reading journey. Tell me a little bit about what you're reading right now, and then tell me your drink of the day.
Hi, I'm Emma Deshon. My reading journey started like the summer after junior year of high school, so about 2022. Yeah, I started reading romance books. And I still love romance books. Right now I've kind of been in my dystopian era. I really love dystopian books. I'm currently reading The Hunger Games. I'm currently on the fourth book. Fourth book. I'm on Songbirds and Snakes right now, about 200 pages in. So, and my drink of the day today is actually Dr. Pepper, not coffee, but caffeine is caffeine.
Love the ASMR. Thank you so much. You know what? I actually think I have yet to do a episode of Romance Over the Coffee where I'm drinking coffee. So
Someday
we'll get there.
One of
you
the
know
days.
That's okay. Well, as you guys know, I'm Camille Andelt. I am the host of Romance Over Coffee. I really got into reading probably my sophomore year of high school. Going into the spring semester, my New Year's resolution for that year was to go to the library so often that my librarian knew my name. And so I would check out books by the dozens and fell in love with reading romance books and just and the book community too. I started following YouTubers and everything. So just falling in love with the community as well. And I've been reading nonstop ever since, except for this year. It's been a year of a slump for me.
It has been a year of a slump.
But you know what? We persist. And my drink of the day is Triple Berry Breezer Bubbler.
That was so crisp.
Was it crisp?
It was good.
Thank you. I needed that. Okay. To start off, we're going to talk about tropes because that's what my podcast is about, is we just dive deep into tropes each episode and talk about recommendations and stuff.
I love it.
So let's just talk, what is your favorite trope? What is your least favorite trope? Give it to me.
Let me say, when I first started getting into reading, one of the first books I ever read was a Grumpy Time Sunshine book. And I thought, wow, I really love these. Looking back now, I have yet to read a good Grumpy Time Sunshine trope. They're a little cringe. Don't get me wrong. I love them. I'll eat them up every time. But they're definitely not my favorite anymore. Might be down there. I also hate accidental pregnancy tropes. Those are definitely my least favorite.
Oh,
the worst. But my favorite of all time, I love some enemies to lovers. That's really good. And then another one I love.
Say it.
These are also cringe, but I love a good protector trope. He's very protective over her. I love sometimes when the girl, I love a good girl boss, but sometimes I love when the girl is helpless.
Right? You love a good damsel in distress moment.
I'm kind of because I think I can relate that most to me, because sometimes in these situations I'm I'd probably just curl up in a ball and cry, and some of these girls are just a lot stronger than me. So
right.
Sometimes
so you need a character that you can relate to.
Yeah, I just need a man to come in and save the day every once in a while.
Absolutely. What's so wrong with that?
Being single for 20 years, you're sometimes I just want to rely on a man.
You know what? That's okay. You know what? Let's allow that.
Yeah.
I agree with everything that you said. I will say, Grumpy Sunshine, it really depends on who does it, but
True.
it can get really overdone. I will say, enemies to lovers, love. That was
God.
my first podcast episode. That's what it was about. But they have to be true enemies.
Yes.
It can't be the oh, I hate her guts, but actually I'm secretly in love with her. That's not really enemies to lovers to me. Mm-hmm. It needs to be I genuinely hate her guts and he hates her, and she hates him. So then they find the common ground.
It's the character development,
Yes.
seeing them change over time.
Yes,
for sure.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. Okay, we kind of already talked about this, but do you have one that you find most infuriating? Would you say it's Grumpy Sunshine or
Accidental pregnancy. It's just not accurate. I feel in real world scenarios, an accidental pregnancy is not going to bring two people to fall in love together. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does, but it's not a true trope that's oh, if I accidentally got pregnant, we're going to get married and fall in love. No.
Babes.
Life isn't
Divorce,
that excited.
babes.
Yeah, divorce.
Divorce, babes.
That's definitely so true. What's yours?
I would have to say accidental pregnancy too. just genuinely, it just doesn't seem, out of all of them, it seems like that would probably go the worst. Like, when you talk about, like, a lot of, like, book people talk about what are the couples that you think, like, definitely have been divorced after the closing of the book, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I feel like any accidental pregnancy, like, it's rare that you'll find one that's like, no, they're still together.
Yes.
You know?
I also hate the, like, older brother, like, oh, I'm in love with my older brother's best friend.
Oh, I thought you were just going to stop at older brother. I was like, wait, what are you reading?
I hate incest.
Right. Good.
I just, like, I've also, oh my god, this was a mistake on my part, read an arranged marriage book. That is terrible. Who makes those books?
Arranged marriage? You
yes,
don't like it?
No, you do?
Yes, especially if it's, like, in, like, the 1800s
You're
England.
crazy.
Because, like,
I want to choose my own person. Oh my god.
Anthony Bridgerton?
I haven't read the Bridgerton books.
Babe.
I know.
You gotta get there.
Oh my gosh.
Watch that, read that, and then come talk to me. Anyways, okay, let's dive into microtropes, because do you know, like, microtropes? Okay, so it's, like, something that always happens in romance books.
Oh, okay.
Like the mini things that kind of happen.
Yep.
So, like, for me, like, my favorite microtrope, obviously one bed. Like,
oh my god,
when there's one bed, what are we gonna do? We have to sleep in the same bed. Like, yes, sign me up. Or, this is very niche, but when the male main character is secretly, like, really good at drawing, and he, like, draws her portrait, but doesn't tell her, and then she finds it in, like, his drawer or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Gosh,
like,
yes.
I, like, melt every single time. It's in the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I don't remember which book specifically, but you just have to read the whole series to find out, because, so good.
I would say, like, one of my favorite mini tropes is when, like, they're trying to make someone jealous, and they maybe not make out, but just, like, hold hands at some point in time. Something like that. Something small like that, because I love a good petty moment. Like, yes. I love being a little bit petty sometimes. That would definitely be my favorite. But the one bed thing is by far amazing.
Yes. I will say, like, on top of the, like, little moment that they share, I think one of my other favorite mini tropes is when, like, the tension is building, and then they have this just moment of, like, screw it, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Yes. Oh my gosh, I eat it up every single time.
Yeah, these are
so good. Okay, when they have a deep-rooted fear of the dark, or, like, thunderstorms, and then, like, it's storming, and she's, like, so scared, and she has to go find comfort.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Or, like, or there's, like, specifically when they're scared of the dark, and then he buys her a nightlight.
Oh. Getting really specific on the microtrope I already said is just, like, whispering in the other person's ear.
Yes.
Like, when they're like, just, like, talk to me and pretend like we have to make someone else jealous, and then he just, like, whispers in her ear or brushes her hair behind her ear. Sorry, I eat it up. It's like Debbie Ryan times 2, but I love it. Like, yes, put my hair behind my ear while we look into each other's eyes, and you're bending down looking at me because I'm 5'2".
Yes, I could not agree more. Oh my goodness.
It's also, I love it when he's like 6'5" and she's like 5'2", and I'm like, this isn't that realistic, but I'll eat it up either way because I am 5'2".
I'll do you one better than whispering. When, okay, we're fans in a fantasy book, they, like, talk through the bond, like, talk through their head. Okay, or, like, have you
I've not read a fantasy book yet. There's, like, 6 on my to be read. I just have to get out of the slump to start reading them.
So real, and I respect that. But, like, when they're, like low-key they're mates, and so they can, like, talk to each other through their heads. It sounds so stupid, but, like, you guys, you don't understand.
No, I want to understand.
They can talk through, like, their head. Or, like, so when she's in danger, like, he can, like, literally sense it in his head.
I love it.
Anywho. That's kind of all the trope talk I have. Let's get into Q&A.
All right.
Now we're into the book tag Q&A. So I'm just going to rapid-fire question at you, and then you give me your answer.
Am I allowed to give more than one answer?
Well, yes, absolutely. Okay. What is a book that you tell people is your favorite?
Okay, so there's 2 answers to this, because anytime somebody's like, what's your favorite book? I'm like, do you want romance or non-romance? Romance-wise, I am in love with probably the Windy City series. Love the Windy City series. If you know, you know. If you don't, you should know. Like, you should figure it out. Non-romance, Hunger Games, 1000%. I don't care. You can read Hunger Games at whatever age you want. You can read it at 12, like when it came out and we were all like 7. Or you can read it at 25, and it still is fire, no matter what age you are reading it at. And there's movies to go with it, and the movies are the best movies to go, like book to movie ratio. Anyway, sorry, I'll not talk about Hunger Games that much, but it's a current obsession.
You're allowed to talk about Hunger Games. I've heard it's great. I've seen the movies, but I haven't read the books yet.
I'll give you my books. Like, please, I need you to read this series.
I will
There's
try.
A perfect amount of romance, girl boss, and dystopian in there. That it's just all mixed into one.
I do want to get there eventually.
There's a
That's like
small love triangle.
Love a good love triangle.
You gotta read it.
Fine, I guess I'll read it. I agree. And also, I would say, like, what I tell people is my favorite book is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher.
Oh, those are good series. I actually really like those. I didn't think I would, but Camille convinced me to read them. And
that's right.
I really, really, really loved them.
I read that in high school, so, like, since then my taste has changed a little bit. But, like, I was a die-hard fine print fan my senior year of high school. I kind of talked about this on my podcast earlier, but, like, I did fine print everything. That was my yearbook theme when I was editor. I like, took my senior pictures in Barnes & Noble holding the fine print. Like, it was kind of a low-key unhealthy obsession. So, like,
That's Hunger Games, though.
Right.
Like, it's fine. We're allowed to have unhealthy obsessions as long as we're aware they're unhealthy.
Yes, exactly. We're self-aware. Okay, what are your top 5 5-star reads? And if you don't have any off the top of your head, I can go first, but...
No, I got this. Okay.
Yes.
Windy City series.
Yes.
Boys of Toman series.
Yes.
Not all of these are going to be series, I promise.
Okay, great.
The Natural series.
Well, yes.
I love the Natural series. That's also up in my top. Okay, these might all be. The Bromance Book Club series.
Yes.
I haven't read the last 2, but I've read the first 3.
I don't think I've read the last 2 either.
But it's so good.
So good. So silly goofy.
I would also have to put the Fine Print. Those were definitely in my top 5. And I would also say probably The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I feel like is kind of a book talk, popular book, and a lot of people were like, oh, it's not as good as everybody was saying. I ate that up. I loved it. To be fair, I haven't read it since senior year of high school, but from what I remember, it was really good.
No, I agree. I read that book so quickly, too. Like, and the plot twist was crazy. Like, I would definitely agree. Like, I think it was worth the hype.
I think so, too. Was that 5?
I think that was 6, but you know what?
Well, I'm just really excited.
And that's great. Mine are probably Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren.
Oh, I do like that one.
I reread it probably every year, and it never is bad for me.
The thing about me is I realize that I'm not a picky reader, like, at all. Like, I'm realizing, like, almost every book I've read is a 5-star read. Now, I have my 1 and 2 stars in this list, but looking back, most of them are 4 or 5 stars. Like, I'm not picky when it comes to books.
I agree. I feel like a lot of people are very much like, I never give out 5-star reads, and that's okay. That's your prerogative. But for me, I just, like... I feel like
I'm always giving out 5 stars.
I'm like, I read to escape, so I'm not going to be, like, critiquing it, you know?
I mean, I have my few moments where I'm like, oh
absolutely.
my God. But that's just, like, life. I feel that way about life. I'd still give my life 5 stars. So
yes, let's talk about it. Let's brag about it. Okay, number 2, I would say Beach Read by Emily Henry. By far one of my favorite Emily Henry novels ever, and I love it. I'm literally rereading it right now. Then I would say Binding 13 specifically.
Ooh. Oh, specifically.
Specifically Binding 13, because it's just jam-packed with, like, literally everything you could imagine. The plot is crazy, and, like, you fall in love immediately with all of the characters, and I would not shut up about it.
Specifically, I would say Keeping 13 was better than Binding 13.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked... I think it's just because, like, again, I have a savior complex issue. So,
right. See, I just loved, like...
There's a lot of saving in that one. So.
There was just more, like, pining, I feel like, in Binding 13.
Is true.
And I liked the pining. Yeah. And then I would say Archer's Voice.
Oh.
love Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan.
Yes.
It's... Basically, the premise is, like, he's deaf, and he's kind of the outcast of the community, and then there's this girl and her brother that move into this small town in Maine, and she kind of, like, has this, like, soft spot for Archer is his name, because her dad is deaf, and everybody else kind of just, like, lets him be and goes off into his own, like, little house outside on the outskirts of the town, and she's kind of, like, she kind of has this urge to build this, like, relationship with him. Ugh, so good,
I
guys.
would love to reread that book. I should reread that book.
And there's a book, Travis, about his brother.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, too, so...
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You can borrow my copy.
Okay.
And then also, I'm going to have to say better than the movies. Like, we already know.
I should have put that in my list. I would have. Like, that series is so good.
So good. Oh, my goodness. And I have a sweatshirt and everything, so...
That's amazing.
Okay. Next question. Do you like alternating point of views or third person?
I'm not, like, that specific, but I love a good alternating point of view. Like, third person, sometimes I get a little confused about who they're talking about. I will say that, but alternating point of views for sure, if I'm going to choose between the two.
I agree. Well, I think, like, there should be, or, like, even first person where it's just one POV is, like, great.
Oh, yeah.
But I do like the alternating point of view because I like seeing the male's perspective, and usually it's just the female's perspective, and just, like, seeing... Like,
I want to see the man fall in love with the woman.
Yes.
I'm a woman. I know what it's like to fall in love with a man. I want to see the man fall in love with the woman.
I agree. Yes, couldn't have said it better myself.
And maybe, or even if it's two women or two men, I just want to see both point of views.
Yes.
I don't care who you're falling in love with. I want to know what it's like for everyone to fall in love, not just me.
Yes, and especially when it is like a trope, like enemies to lovers, and then you see like
the character development.
If you see it from both sides, or like is there a book that you wish was alternating POV and it's not?
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring this up again. The Hunger Games. I would love. Sorry, this is out in the world, and it's been out in the world for a long time, so if this spoils a little bit, I'm sorry, but Peeta Mellark's point of view, I would love to see, or even Gail's point of view, that's the love triangle. I would love to see both of their point of views, because the readers will understand why I want to see Gail's point of view. Like, what were you thinking? But Peeta Mellark, he's just so in love with her, and I just want to know, like, what he was thinking in these moments. Because if you, especially in Mockingjay, if you know, I'm not going to spoil it for Camille, but because I'm going to make her read these books, but if you've read the Hunger Games series or at least watched the movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about in Mockingjay. Like, I want to know what it was like for him. Anyways, that would be my...
Good answer. I wish I could understand what you're saying, and I will eventually. But for me, I would say I wish Better Than the Movies was alternating point of view. Ooh. If I could see Wes Bennett fall in love with Liz Buxbaum, I would, like, die. Oh my gosh, life would be perfect, and I would be forever thankful for it.
That is a good one. I like that one.
To Lynn Painter. Lynn Painter, if you're listening to this live on 90.3 KRNU, please...
Send it to her.
Lynn Painter, please make Wes POV, like, whole entire book. Anywho... What's a book that you'll always recommend? We kind of already talked about, like, favorite books, like, yeah. But, like, what's a book you'll always recommend to somebody?
But recommending to somebody is way different than favoriting, because sometimes I'm like, I will never tell you what.
Absolutely.
If they like romance books, and if they like sports romance, to be specific, the Mile High series, specifically Right Move. The second one, it's about a basketball player, and he gets a random roommate. Or not random roommate, it's his little sister's best friend. You know that's and right. They're enemies to lovers, and it's amazing, and I love it. It's definitely my favorite of the 3 in the series, or 4 now.
Yes, well,
I forgot.
At the end of this month.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my goodness,
I'm so excited. I can't wait to read that. That might actually bring me out of a reading slump.
Wait,
low-key.
yes. Oh my goodness. The announcement came when I had given up social media. And when I opened Instagram after, I was like late to the party, and I was like, wait, there's going to be another book so soon?
Yeah.
Oh, so excited.
So it's really great. But that is one series, especially like me, as a sports media major, I love sports romance because I like imagine myself falling in love with some sports player of some sort.
Yeah, it's kind of like going back to the Wattpad days, you know, where it's like...
if this is like enticing to you at all, the first book is hockey, the second book is basketball, and the third book is baseball. So,
really, and then is the fourth book is going to be baseball too, right?
Correct. Yes.
So excited.
So excited.
Okay, for me, a book I'll always recommend to somebody. 2 different genres. If you're looking for getting into fantasy reading, I would always recommend Powerless by Lauren Roberts.
Sounds like I'm reading Powerless.
You need to read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It is amazing, and it's so, like, easy to follow. The world building isn't that intense or dramatic. Like, you pretty much are able to figure out how the world works, like, immediately. And then she just is so good at writing pining and yearning. And we need to bring back pining and yearning. It was just so good.
I want someone to pine and yearn after me. Are you kidding me?
Well, let's read about it. And then I would also recommend The Bodyguard by Catherine Senner if you're just romance reading.
Love it.
I was not expecting to love that book as much as I did, but
I remember I read it before you, and I was like, I don't know if you'd actually like this book, but I liked it. It was really good. And I keep forgetting that I read that book.
I do
like,
too.
That's how
and
good
then
it
I remember it, and I'm like, wait, that was actually an amazing
really
book.
good.
I just love that trope in general, the bodyguard trope. It's very niche.
It's very niche.
But, like, Twisted Games.
Okay, I can't relate to that one.
Okay, well, I know everybody
hate. Let's go back to what we hate. I don't care what anybody says. I hate the Twisted series, the dumbest series ever in this world. I'm sorry to whoever the author is for that. It's Anna or whatever.
Anna Huang, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, girl. That's the worst series I've ever read in my life. I read the second book and I said never again, because I read the first book. I said this was terrible. That's one of my only 1-star reads. And then Camille was like, the second book's way better. And I think I gave it 2 stars. I gave it 2 stars. That's terrible. I hated that series. That was such a book talk book that should stay in book talk and not come to me.
We will be diving into that later. But however, I feel like I see your point of view. I will say, reading the book, I was like, that's a pretty good book. Like, I was eating it up. I read the whole series. And then it was like one of those series that, like, afterwards you reflect on. Like 2 years ago, probably.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah,
probably 2 years ago it was good, but I tried to read it last summer, and it was terrible.
It really depends on, like, where you're at in life also, and just, like, I feel like since then my taste has grown a little bit, but it was, like, I think the plots were good, I think, and, like, afterwards I was a little bit like, I don't know, but...
Yeah, 1 star.
Yeah, 1 star. Fact checked on her Goodreads. You know what? To each their own.
Yeah, I guess.
Anywho, next question. Your guilty pleasure book.
Oh, what are the Wild series by Elsie Silver? Like
Wild Eyes.
And what are the other ones she wrote? Oh, no, is the Hopeless, Reckless, Powerless, and Heartless books. Those are really good.
Oh, like Chestnut Spring series.
Chestnut Spring, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. It's been a while since I've read those, but I also think those would get me out of slump. I need to just, like, go back through my Goodreads and be like, these are really good books. Like, I need to get back into them.
Yes.
But, yeah, the Chestnut Spring series, actually, I really, really like them. I always had this dream as a kid. Low-key, I was, like, a dream horse girl. Like, I was never a horse girl, but I was always like, maybe in my future I'll be a horse girl. Like, I'll live on a ranch, because... might be niche, but the Heartland TV show series.
Yes, I know.
Like 13 seasons of it. I love.
Yes.
Me and this girl that lived on my block, we would watch that together. We loved it and ate up all the time. So it, like, reading the Chestnut Spring series kind of brought that back in me. And I was like, I could see myself living on the ranch, working with them horses in my future. Could I? No. But I like to dream that there's, like, some alternate reality.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah. I like to think that there's some, in, like, the suburbs of Lincoln, Nebraska. Like, nowhere near. I didn't have land.
She had a backyard.
I had a backyard. Barely could fit 2 dogs in it.
But that's where the fantasy comes in. Like, you want what you don't have.
And would I ever want to live on a farm and do all of that work? No. But it's fun to dream.
A girl can dream.
The Chestnut Spring series is my guilty pleasure book for that.
I love that answer. That's a great answer.
Thank you. What's yours?
Still Beating.
Yeah. Okay, like, which is so horrible of us to say.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Don't read it.
No, do read it. I think it's kind of interesting. If you liked... This is bad of me to say, but if you like a lot of mental health and illness, like, type trope things, which... Not gonna lie, I eat up sometimes. Still Beating's good.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about what Still Beating's about?
I don't know. I feel like not.
Look it up. There's a lot of trigger warnings with it.
Definitely a lot of trigger warnings.
We'll just say, like, kidnap into romance. How about that?
Yeah, but it's not like...
No, it's not like... She doesn't fall in love with her kidnapper.
But it's not Stockholm Syndrome.
And that, it's not... Yeah. You gotta read it to find out.
A book everyone loves, but you didn't.
Oh, let me tell you.
Let me hear it, because I feel like you have an answer.
The Twisted series. What is... That is horrible. You're telling me he, like, stalked her for, like, a month and You all ate that.
And when she said no, you just like followed her around for a year.
That's insanity. That is crazy work.
Yeah, if a guy's doing that to you, babes,
Run away.
Call the police.
Call the cops.
Call the police.
Call the FBI. Call someone. Get him arrested. And it's crazy that y'all ate that. And that's coming from me. Someone who's like, I love still beating. Like, I love still beating. That's coming from me. Y'all better get help if you like that series. Sorry, that's mean. That's mean. You like what you like. But I don't. I can't. And Camille swore to me that the second book gets better. It got better by like 0.5 stars.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of a 1-star book, it's 1.5 star book.
I'm tired of the Twisted Game slander, and I will not stand for this. So
I'm sorry. I can't do it. He just made me angry throughout the whole first book. And then
the first book sucks. The second book's great. The third book's okay. The fourth book sucks. So like as a whole series, it's not great odds, but like there's some good.
What she wrote the other like really good Throne of Glass or whatever series? Nope.
Completely
Sorry.
different.
So sorry. Everybody's probably like cringing.
No.
Oh my god, she's terrible.
Wait, who? Okay, Anna Huang wrote like the King of Sin series.
Oh, okay. It was another fantasy. Is that fantasy?
No.
Oh. Oops.
It's just like romance.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? We persist.
Everybody likes those books, so maybe I'll give her another try. But
yeah, I mean they're pretty good. Some are good, some are bad, some are in between.
But I just can't get behind the Twisted series.
Okay, so don't talk to Emma about the Twisted series because she will get really angry. Anywho.
What's yours?
Throne of Glass.
Oh, okay.
Mine is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Everybody loves Throne of Glass, and everybody's like, you have to read it. This is my favorite series ever. People reread it every single year. Hated it. I DNF'd. I stopped at Tower of Dawn, Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn, because it's like 600-page books, and a lot of people say you have to tandem read it to like get the full experience. So you're like reading 600-page books like intermittently, and I got the hardback like books for some reason, and so I was just like, I couldn't do it. I got in such a bad slump. I did not enjoy it. I was like really not in. I was kind of confused. So, yeah, everybody loved Throne of Glass, but I did not.
Okay, I haven't read it, but...
Well, don't.
Okay, I won't.
Jumping ship, what's a book that deserves all the hype?
All the hype. Let me think about this. You can go first.
Okay, ACOTAR. I'll say it. This is literally the same author, Sarah J. Maas, but her other series, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I loved that series so much, and I will like forever be thinking of it all the time. Like, I probably think about that series like 3 times a week still, and I read it like 2 years ago. Everybody loves it, and I see why. And it was also like the first fantasy series I read, so I think it'll always hold a special place in my heart. So definitely ACOTAR.
Okay, hear me out. I don't love these books anymore, but the Things We Never Got Over series by Lucy Score, I think it got a lot of hype, and I think it deserves the hype for people that are getting into reading. Mm-hmm. Now, looking back, I'm 3 years into reading. Would I say that series is amazing and I'd want to read it again? Probably not. But for people getting into it's the first book that got me into reading and romance, and I was like, yes, this can be fun. They're different, and they have the Grumpy Time Sunshine. I think it's one of the only books I've read where they did Grumpy Time Sunshine well. Now that there's 3 books and they're all basically the same, it kind of sucks. But it has plot twists. It's really good, and it's a different storyline. Found family. Yeah. Grumpy Time Sunshine. Somewhat enemies to lovers in the second and third book, but...
and like, there's always that mystery twist, and like the ending is always like insane, and you can't put it down for like the last 50 pages.
So it's a great book to get into running.
Hello.
Reading. Sorry.
Did you just run a marathon?
Guys, I just ran a half marathon yesterday. Give me a break. I wanted to bring it up.
Whatever. Congrats.
No, but it's a good book to get into reading, I think. And so I think that's why it deserves all the hype. Now, my friend, I told her to read it, and she has been reading for years, and she was like, why would you tell me to read that? If you're not into reading, go read the series.
Yeah, everybody has their own taste, and I do agree. It's one of those really good books that just like kind of keeps you going.
Yes.
And like is good to just
I think it's an easy read. like, even in a book slump, if you were to read that and had never read that before, I think it's good to just get back into it. Easy.
Absolutely. Agree. So what's a book that you've read the fastest?
Oh, the fastest?
I can go first.
Go ahead.
So I read The Do-Over by Lynn Painter in one sitting, 8 hours. It took just one sitting. I read it cover to cover. It was really good, really fast-paced. I feel like if I didn't read it in 8 hours, like, I probably would have DNF'd it. But, like, those 8 hours, it was great. I would recommend. And then also Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. I read that also in one sitting. Not a lot of people talk about this book, but it's really, really good.
I don't know if I ever read it.
Yeah, Something Wilder. I read it a couple of years ago, so I don't remember the whole entire plot. But basically, it's this girl goes on this, like, horseback riding, like, camping thing in, like, a national park, and it's led by these rangers. And they go, and it ends up becoming, like, some sort of mystery, and they have to, like, go on this, like, treasure hunt, and they end up getting, like, chased by, like, people going after the same treasure, and it's kind of like this, like, western, like, modern western, and it was so good. It was just, I was eating it up the whole entire time. So, would recommend.
Okay, mine. It's kind of a short book with only 283 pages. Sorry, kind of messed that up. It's fine. Night Shift by Annie Crown. You read it.
Yes.
The basketball in the library.
Yes.
Girl. Very, 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 like, overdone, but I think she did it very well. You know what I mean? Where she works in a library and he's like a star basketball player and he's failing school and comes into the library to look for a book and she's there. 283 pages, read that in one day. It was so good. I couldn't put it down. I don't know how she did it so well, but it was very well written. Like, she wasn't helpless. He wasn't helpless, and he wasn't like making fun of her or anything like that. I don't know. And you are like 20 pages in. I can say this because it was literally like the first like 20 pages. They make out. Like, I was like, whoa, we're going really fast, but in a good, positive way.
Yeah.
It worked. So,
no, I agree.
Nobody talks about that book.
We should talk about that book more because anytime that I'm in the library now, I'm like,
where's my basketball player?
Basketball player. Yeah.
Night Shift by Annie
Fun
Crown.
fact, the basketball players usually aren't in the library. Usually aren't in the library, babes. And that's no slander. You know what? You got your own, like...
I'm not even in the library half the time.
You got your own stuff, but... Anywho.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Yes. Okay, what's a book that made you sob hysterically? So sad.
Oh, gosh. Still Beating.
Yeah.
It did. I sobbed at one point. I was like, oh, my God. Like, I don't know why it tugged on the heart... I mean, I know why it tugged on the heartstrings, but it's like, usually I cry at things like I can relate to, and I can't say I relate to Still Beating.
Good.
But it was still very, very sad.
Yeah, I agree. It was very heart-wrenching.
What's yours?
Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh.
Okay.
That one. Oh, so sad. I probably sobbed that whole series, but that was just... I was not expecting how heart-wrenching that series was going to be. There's a lot of dark themes. Definitely look up trigger warnings if you read it, but it was so...
Same with Still Beating.
Yeah.
Please.
So good, though, because I just... If you don't know anything about the Finding 13 series, what is it called? Boys of Tommen.
Boys of Tommen
It's
series.
set in, like, an Irish high school, like, prep academy, and then, like, it's kind of just about a girl who grew up in, like, the poorer side of town. Her father is abusive. Her mother kind of not really there, and she has a lot of siblings that, like, basically her and her older brothers are, like, kind of forced to take care of, and she's been like bullied her whole life and switching schools.
Mind you, her brother's only like 17, she's 14, and then they have like a 2-year-old, a 6-year-old, and like an 8-year-old or something like that.
Anyways, read the Boys of Tommen series. Last question. Since this is a Romance Over Coffee podcast, can you recommend a book based on your favorite coffee order?
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm thinking here.
I will go first.
Okay.
Mine's kind of a layup, though. I love a good pumpkin spice latte. I'll eat it up every time, and I don't care if that's basic, and I love that it's exclusively in the fall, and it's just so yummy and perfect, so I would have to say the Pumpkin Spice Cafe from the Dream Harbor series by Lori Grant, I think is her name, would recommend. So good, and so cozy, just like a cozy little romance, and perfect to cuddle up with a good pumpkin spice latte in your hand, so would recommend.
Okay, so I love, this is crazy, but I love a good cold brew. Just like a plain cold brew with a little bit of sweetener in it and some milk. Very, very basic, and I think one that kind of resembles that is Love Redesigned.
Ooh.
By Lauren Asher. I think that book just gives cold brew to me. Like, if that makes sense.
I kind of see it, though.
They're enemies to lovers, and
Yeah.
I just think a cold brew is enemies to lovers to me. Like a very bitter coffee.
Couldn't agree more. That's actually a great choice.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining me on my podcast today, and I'm so
Thanks
happy
for
that we
having
could yap
me.
about books.
Yes.
And everybody, happy reading.
Woo.